Hi guys, my name is Adrian Niculescu and I have a very special guest tonight, Patrick M. Powers, who is an entrepreneur and also a very important guy in the world of network marketing. I've met him, I think, 2 years ago when I attended for the first time his meetup called Entrepreneurs in London. And this meetup, I've heard that is one of the biggest in the world. And it was for me a source of inspiration to start my own meetups. And they are growing by themselves. And even some people told me that I maybe have some Midas touch because I started something and they grow by themselves. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks. Thanks, Adrian, for having me here.
So, the core idea of this interview and of the series I've started is that, um, mm, at least I would like to believe that I'm saying for myself that we are part, so I'm part of a special breed of people having a fire inside or a burning desire for doing something, and sometimes we don't know what to do with what we have inside. And my gut told me that this should be the source for, I don't know, amazing products, events, conferences, books. And so many people, when having a burning desire inside, they don't know what to do with it. What do you think about that?
Well, it's absolutely true. I mean, I used to be that way. When I was 21, I started my first business, and before that, I went through several years of just wanting to do something different. I hated my job, and I just wanted to do something with my life other than being an employee, right? So what are people? What should they do if they have that fire inside them? Well, the first thing I would say is hang around other people that have that same fire because it can be very discouraging to be around family and friends, which are typically not entrepreneurs. It's rare that people grow up in an entrepreneurial family. Like my family was very, very negative about it. So make a commitment to be hanging around people that are like-minded that you can get other ideas from. And maybe then, by meeting those people, you will get those kind of ideas that will resonate with you and, that will be your idea to build your business empire, to become free and to do what you love. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is like just make a commitment to do something. I mean, to just do something because so many people are just sitting there with all that potential and never doing anything about it, just having that passion, and they're afraid of doing something because they're afraid of making mistakes. And please just do something with your life. I was just, many times I've been thinking about when I was 21, what if I hadn't done something about my life at that point? I would have been at very best, I would have been extremely unhappy today working for somebody else. So don't be afraid of failure. Everybody fails, whatever they do, especially in business. You got to fail forward and just keep on going. And you will crack that nut one day. You will crack the code and make something that will work for you.
I went to listen to one of your interviews. I think it was for Entrepreneurs on Fire when you mentioned some of your lowest moments, and I don't want to recall them here, but I just want to ask you if you can remember that feeling when it seemed that nothing worked, and when you were, how you say, like at the bottom of everything,
Hmm.
how you found the internal resources to go further, because most of us, I don't know why this happens, and it's it's very painful. there is such a moment or a series of moments like that when nothing seems to work and when um, most of the resources seem to disappear. So
Hmm.
what you did
Well,
to
how do you find
yeah
the yeah, how do you find the energy to keep on going? I'm not really sure. I think for me, it's just making a decision that you can't quit, that you seriously like, it depends on how people see themselves. Some people are comfortable with quitting and just living in a life of quiet desperation and mediocrity. Lots of people, they settle and they're comfortable with settling, but I've never been comfortable with settling. I always want more. And if what I have is not something that I'm really happy with, I just make up my mind to go and try to do something more. And no matter how many times you fail, you got to keep on going. Um, so, and in those situations, I consistently, when I'm really down, what I do is I listen to trainings, I listen to like inspiring YouTube videos. Um, I make sure I hang around successful people, get advice from them. So you get some external voice that is not your own, right? The worst thing you can do in those situations is just hang around yourself or hang around your negative family members. You gotta get yourself into an environment. Take control of your own programming. Take control of feeding your mind with the right information. That is so 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 necessary.
which was the moment when you felt that um, the um, the entrepreneurial way started to really kick off for you and started to gain real momentum? Which was that moment?
Well, that was about 13 years ago, and that was after I decided that I just could not live on like the way I did. I was just seriously, seriously desperate for a new life. And I made a decision that I'm going to do something now. I'm going to put it into action. What I've learned, I'm not going to sit down and not use my potential just because I'm afraid of doing what I knew I was supposed to do. So that was about 13 years ago, and just simply out of pure desperation. And I started taking action, start taking massive action, talking to people, and things just happened. And it happened almost overnight. So literally within a few months, I was out of the rat race. I built a really, really good business for myself. And in a year of taking a business that I invested about $350 in, somewhere between 300 to $350, and that turned into actually turnover of $3 million the first year. And literally within 10 months, I was practically retired. So that was an amazing transformation to go from um, stress and uh, working jobs that I hated and just being frustrated, and suddenly I was just traveling the world. And when it finally happens, then all the struggle, all of the pain and frustration and all that, it feels like you don't really feel like it's there anymore. I like it's worth everything, right? So whatever you have to go through to get to that, I guarantee you, once you're there, it's worth the journey. And then you become so much more on that journey as well. You become a different person. So all I'm trying to say here is whatever you have to go through and whatever you're enduring right now, it's worth it. It's worth it. You just keep on going, keep on changing. You have to constantly change, develop yourself, because if we keep on going in circles, well, we're not going to go anywhere. So yeah, so that's my advice.
From the business point of view, do you like to rely on, let's say, one business, one source of income, or do you want to have multiple sources of income? Which is your
I,
strategy?
I believe in multiple sources of income, but when you're building, you should be focusing on one, right? Until that one is fairly systematized and automatic.
Can
All
work
right,
with
where
two or not?
say that again?
Can work with two or not? Just one.
Um, Potentially, but I prefer to focus on one because it's hard enough to build one at a time. It depends on how well that one works, or if you have two, and at least one of them works really well or fairly well, maybe you can focus on another one at the side. But if you never built a successful business before, I would focus on one because it just takes a while to get into something and to learn your trade, to learn the industry there that you're in, to learn the specific sales pitches, and to understand your customers at a deeper level. So I would prefer to focus on one until that one works fairly well, and then you possibly can expand.
So, when did you reach the first million?
That was probably about 10 years ago.
And for somebody wanting, let's say, to start from very little today to reach the first million, which should be the shortest route from your point of view?
Man, that is going to be so individual from person to person. I couldn't say that. For some people like myself, I love network marketing, and I made my first serious money in network marketing, and then I got tired of it and got out of it into traditional business, like I'm training, coaching, consulting. And I gotta tell you, after a couple of years of doing that, I was just knocking myself on the head and thinking, what did I think of getting out of network marketing? So I've decided to get back into it again. I still love doing training and coaching and consulting and do it, but I'm focusing more and more on my network marketing business. But for some people, it's going to be property, real estate. It's for some people, it's going to be something completely different. So you can't really say what's going to be the fastest way.
Yeah,
For
but
me, if I lost everything today, I would choose network marketing in a heartbeat because you can get started with so little money and really really scale it big fairly quickly.
and I know that you are involved in a network marketing project, which is huge right now. Can you tell me something about it?
Sure. So sorry, you said you was involved in a network marketing company that what? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The network marketing company you are involved with now, and I
Yeah.
know that it's a huge success these days.
Yeah, I mean, literally 2 days ago, it was announced we're the fastest company in the industry to ever do $1 billion annually. So, and that's billion dollar with a, with a B. So that's of course exciting. We actually did 1.1 billion in last year, which was our sixth year. And, I've researched the industry for so long, and I've come to the conclusion that, I love anti-aging and health. So my personal preference would always be to work with that. But historically, that's the type of companies that work in the industry. So that's the first thing I look at. And then the second is like, you got to choose something that has amazing, amazing, really, really unique products, preferably patented. And that's what we work with, anti-aging products. One of the products makes you look younger in 90 seconds. And I think that's a very, very good pitch when people meet me at a networking event and they ask me, what do you do? And I say, well, I make people look younger in 90 seconds. And they're like, what? What? How do you do that? I say, well, let me show you. And I take out my smartphone and show them a video of somebody actually looking 5, 10 years younger in 90 seconds. So, so obviously, I can keep on talking about that forever, but people don't want to hear my pitch here about my network marketing opportunity. So let's get into sharing some stuff that that really can make a difference in people's business, whatever business they choose to be in.
Let's suppose that some of the people here are network marketers. I will have
Hmm.
two related questions, and after that, we'll go in other directions.
Hmm.
How many people do you have in your downline, and why those people, let's say, choose to work with you? Because I saw because I work with a lot of people in network marketing. And let's say that some people know about a certain opportunity, but they don't enroll unless they enroll, I don't know, with somebody they trust, they know, or they see as a leader. So I assume that you have some nice leadership competencies. So, as said, how many people do you have in your downline? Why those people made the
Hmm.
decision to work with you, and because I know that you have a lot of people under your wing, um, how did you acquire the leadership skills, or maybe were they native, or I don't know. I'm asking
Mm,
you.
very good question. First of all, I just started out, so I have a relatively small team of about 360 people now. So I know that's for some people that's a lot of people, but like for me that's like almost nothing, right? So my goal this time is to build a team of at least 100,000 people in the next 4 years. So we have a lot of work before us. Why do people choose to be with me? Well, because personal preference is one thing, like personal, just how can I say, like sometimes you meet somebody and it's just like you click with them, like you people like you like them, they like you, and then there's a personal connection. So I think that's one of the things. Second of course is because of my experience. People can see with my systems, the way that we do it in our team, that is quite different, that is easy to duplicate. And they can see that I'm a pro. They can hear, when I start talking about the industry, they can just hear that I really know this industry inside and out. And I built teams of over 10,000 people. I've consistently had success in the last 13 years in the industry. So that's, of course, something that a lot of people will look at. How did I acquire the leadership skills? That's a really good question
Yes, and very
because
serious one.
it's,
I'm taking
yeah,
notes. I'm taking
yes.
notes.
And it's a combination of two things. First of all, I really, really want to make people understand that this was not something that I was born with. I was not brought up in a family of leaders. I was not hanging around leaders. I did not have inherent leadership skills at all. In fact, if I went back 20 years, even 15 years, and somebody asked me, do you think you'll become a leader in the network marketing industry? Um, I would probably have said yes, but I wouldn't actually have believed myself, right? I wanted to become a leader, but I didn't believe I could be there. I had no leadership skills whatsoever, very, very low self-esteem, very little confidence in myself. So how do you change that? Well, first of all, again, it's about two things. Well, actually three things. Is having that strong desire, the commitment to keep on going and to keep on learning, right? And so the second thing is you got to learn systems because there's ways to lead people. Things you say. I always say that you're only a few words away from your dream life. And what I mean by that is like when you have the right words to say to people, whether it's to get their interest initially or to get them to a presentation or to make a successful presentation where a lot of people sign up, and or it is to coach them or to inspire them and to lead them to take action. It is all a matter of using the right words in the right sequence. So you got to commit yourself to learn, to be persuasive, and to learn leadership, right? Leadership is also about making a decision to lead from the front, to basically kick ass and go out there and be an example that others inspired by and aspire to become. So you cannot just like go out and train people and say, hey, you got to talk to a lot of people every day, and then you don't talk to a lot of people every day. You got to be out there and do it yourself and making that commitment. So the moment I think you start to take massive action on that's the thing that changed for me 13 years ago. I started to take massive action, and because people could see that, they followed me because they could see that I was committed. They could see that there was something special here. Does it make sense? Like once you take massive action, people will automatically assume that what you're doing is something special, and they'll start to follow you.
Massive
Oh,
action.
and by,
Ah,
by,
sorry,
by the
sorry.
way, by the way, where I learned the systems from is like from many, many different sources. I've invested over $120,000 in mentorship, coaching, training over the years. But my most important coach was Peggy Long in terms of network marketing leadership. And she coached me for 3.5 months, and it was literally life transforming. So I've had many famous coaches before that, um, but I kept on going. I didn't feel I had enough, and she put everything into place for me. And from then on, it was, I wouldn't say it's plain sailing because there's always challenges, but man, it was just so much easier when I had the system to commit people, to get them accountable, and so on and so on.
What do you understand by massive action? Because massive action means different things for different people. What does mean massive action for you?
It means that when like you use the time, like whatever time you can set aside in that space of time, you don't sit and shuffle papers. You don't prepare to get prepared. You don't study. You go out there and pitch. You know, whatever it is that you need to sell, you go out and sell, or you go out and lead from the front in terms of talking to people, making presentation, pitching, getting people's interest. That's what I mean by just absolute massive action. And then, whether it's massive action for 1 hour a day or even 30 minutes a day, or it's for 3 or 4 hours a day, it doesn't really matter. As long as in that space of time that you decide that you're going to do it, that you don't hold back. You don't sit and think about, oh, am I doing it the right way, or could it be better, or I need to listen to more trainings or whatever. You just take absolutely the most action you can possibly on trying to make it happen. Whatever it is you want to make happen, you take massive action to make it happen.
And tell us a little bit about your meetup. I understood that is one of the biggest in the world, the Meetup
Yeah,
Entrepreneurs
it's
in London.
it's the fourth biggest business meetup in the world, and it's the biggest in Europe. So right now we are 16,000, I think 400, around 16,400. Let me just double check the numbers here. Yep, 16,410 people. And so it's basically a group of entrepreneurs. We meet on a regular basis to network. Networking is super important, constantly expanding your sphere of influence. And the second thing we do on a regular basis is meeting to learn from super successful entrepreneurs. So we have top entrepreneurs from all over the world that come and share the knowledge.
And I don't know, did you survey the members? Why they joined the meetup? What kind of resources do they want to find there? Just to be there in the group, or I wanted to know what drives them to come and join your meetup, actually.
Mm. I I haven't done an official survey, but I know from asking people on a consistent basis that um, they're like one reason why they want to come is that entrepreneurship is often a fairly lonely path. And when you're starting out, unless you're like really brilliant or gifted or lucky or whatever to come up with an amazing idea that investors are willing to invest money in, most people they start out by themselves or maybe with themselves and then one employee or something like that. Okay. And it's a fairly lonely journey. So they come because they want to hang around like-minded people and they want to get away from just be working for themselves and be inspired because then when you hang around yourself all the time, it just becomes boring. So that's one thing, to get away from the loneliness and hanging around like-minded people. Second, it's to be inspired because every single time even to our own meetings, even though I go, twice, sometimes 3 times a month, every single time I go away re-inspired, re-energized, reinvigorated because again, there's just the thing about being in an environment of people that think about possibilities, think that there's actually a way to improve the world. Some people have great, crazy ideas that actually have a potential to change the world. And that's just really inspiring. And then, of course, the third reason is that people want to learn. Um, the fourth reason is that they simply want to develop more contacts to potentially sell to, or just to expand their network, find leads, find potential customers, or find joint venture partners and that kind of stuff. So those are the reasons I hear over and over again.
How important is business networking nowadays?
It's absolutely crucial. I think it's becoming more and more important as we go along. I think people are getting more and more jaded, more and more skeptical about advertising in general, and we tend to more and more um, take the recommendations of people that we know, like, and trust. So and the way that the world is developing is that we go towards more and more advertising all the time. So like wherever we go, wherever we almost open our eyes, there's going to be advertising on buses, on billboards, on Facebook, on Google, everywhere we go, on television, radio. So because of that, people get less and less affected by it. And because of that, then word of mouth is basically becoming more and more effective. So it's absolutely crucial to build a network. And the other thing is that the bigger your network and the more visible you become, like when people can see, like for example, me now, it's not that I have like 4,000 friends on Facebook. I don't really have a lot on Twitter because I've never focused on it. But, with 16,000 people on my Meetup group and 30,000 people in our Facebook fan page, um, people will tend to think that you are somebody, that you know your stuff. So the bigger your network grows, the more people will think that you are the kind of person that is worth following. Does that make sense? It's like it's
Yes.
social proof. It doesn't have to be true, but that's how people think. So that's another reason why it's so important to build your networks today.
Do you believe in New Year's revolution resolutions?
I believe both in resolutions and revolutions. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't understand why people only make them once a year, or typically it's once a year. It should be something we basically make goals. We have goals and commitments to ourselves. We should make them every week, or at least every month. At least every month, because if we only make them once a year, we tend to um, get sidetracked and forget about it. You know, so if we do them once a month, at least if we have like a commitment to ourselves, we should have like a logbook or something where we write our goals down, and we can on a monthly basis see, did we reach our goals? Are we going in the right direction, and so on. So yeah, I absolutely believe it. We just should do it more often. And by the way, statistics say that I think it's about 70% or over 70% of people literally have broken their New Year's resolutions after 4 days. So it's very, very, very sad statistic. And it's just how most people are. That's another reason, like so many people think, oh, it's so hard to be in business today. The competition is so hard. And yeah, it's not necessarily easy always. And competition definitely is getting stronger. But there really aren't that many special people in the world. There really are not that many people that have strong commitment to keep on going. So if you just have a slightly higher commitment level, a slightly higher determination and persistence than the average person, well, you have a good shot.
And how do you keep your New Year resolutions if you believe in them?
How do you keep them?
Yeah.
Good thing to
Do you
do is
have
to
do you have
have
a
a
process or how it is?
yeah, I have several processes. I mean, first of all, having a coach that can kick your ass and then keep you accountable on a weekly basis,
Hmm.
or maybe even a daily basis. I mean, some people on my team, they actually check in with me on a daily basis, but at least once a week. Second, if you don't have a coach and can't afford one, have a friend. Have a friend that you check in with. I call it a goal buddy. So you have a goal buddy, you tell them your goals, and you have a commitment to check in with them like every 3 days or once a week or whatever it is, to just share whether did you actually do what you were supposed to do. Did you take the actions that you said that you were going to take, right? And then I have a sheet, I call it the triple A form, where I'm actually checking my actions and my attitude uh, on this triple A form. I have goals. So like these are my goals, and then there's two parts of the sheet, so I can track my action steps, what I set out to do, and what I actually did. And so I review those on a daily or at least on a weekly basis.
And I saw that everybody wants to be a coach today. Everybody wants to train. Everybody wants to make money speaking in front of the audience. And how do you select if you want to be coached by somebody, let's say? How do you because I assume that if you put like a small text on Facebook, I don't know, I have a coaching need, you will have 40 people pitching you in the next minute with coaching for yada yada to, I
Absolutely.
don't know, sexual
Yeah.
desires and everything.
It's
So
it's just an amazing amount of coaches out there today, and it's really, really sad how many of them are such a low level. Um, Basically, anybody can call themselves a coach today, and lots of people do. So I actually was talking to somebody the other day that was a coach, and they say, "Oh, well, did you get some? You know, where did you have your coaching education?" He says, "Oh, I don't have any education as a coach." I said, "Okay,
the
not
school
that
of
you."
hard knocks.
Well, yeah, sometimes it is enough,
Yeah, yeah,
but I
of
would say, I
course.
mean, it would be good to have an education. Well, the first thing that I look at choosing a coach is, um, have they achieved what I want to achieve, right? And lots of coaches, they're just like a business coach. It's like, hey, I'm a business coach. It's great, you know, and or people say they want to become a business coach or a marketing coach, and I say, great. What have you achieved in the area of business, or what have you achieved in the area of marketing? In most cases, they haven't achieved anything. They're just like, oh, I'd like to coach. I say, okay. I understand you want to coach, but like, what can you actually give other than theoretical knowledge? And so that's really important for me that people actually have practical knowledge that proved that they have achieved what I want to achieve. Okay.
So would you hire a broke business coach to coach you
No, of course
about
not.
business?
Of course not. Of course not. Except, I mean, you know, it could be somebody who actually has been very, very successful and then has lost it all.
Yes, it can
Um,
happen, of course. This is
yeah,
the
you know,
exception
because
of the rule.
yeah, I mean, it could be some exceptions there, but it has to be have somebody who's actually has made a lot of money at some point in their life. Um, so so second, if you want to be specific, you know, really narrow down what it is that you think that you are lacking right now. What it is that you really need. Is it sales skills? Is it personal you know, power or confidence, and like so interview the people that are candidates to coach you about what their specialty is, like what is it that they specialize on. All right, so find something that is specific to exactly what you want to do. Does it make sense?
Yes.
There's so many general business coaches. Oh, yeah, I'm a business coach. Okay, what do you specialize on? Oh, everything.
Business.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
The whole
Exactly.
business.
Yeah. So I would narrow down what it is that you need to do, not necessarily think about, okay, what is it I want to achieve in 3 years or something like that, but what is it you think you need right now? Okay, is it that you need to learn networking, prospecting, or sales, or do you need to learn how to write copy for your sales letters, or whatever it is that you need to learn? Be specific about it. The more specific also you have it in your mind, the easier it is for you to go out and find that person in the real world.
One, and I don't know how to say what kind of question. What is money for Patrick M. Powers?
Freedom. That's as simple as that. It's freedom.
So money equal freedom.
Absolutely.
Do you
And,
do
and
or
choice and freedom. When I say
freedom
freedom,
and choice? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
freedom, it means so much. Freedom is so many things. I mean, for me, it's the freedom to do whatever you want to do, and that can also be the freedom to make an impact in the world, like to make some serious changes. You know, I'm aiming to become multi-millionaire, and thereby using some of that money to actually create some changes that are needed in the world.
Do you practice meditation, or did you went
I used to.
down into your subconscious mind? Did you follow some courses like wealth building, building the wealth in mind, stuff like that? Did you did you do something in this direction?
I've done lots of personal development training. I used to do meditation. I used to do transcendental meditation, and actually something that I wanted to pick up again. I highly recommend people that they do some meditation. And again, meditation. Lots of people will think, oh, it's just about sitting down and relaxing, but it's actually so much more. Take a serious course in it. And I've done lots of personal development training, and it's all very necessary, but lots of people they tend to think that it's all about having the right mindset and personal development. And I'll tell you that although it is important, what is equally important, if not more important, is skill set. Right? If you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to persuade people to do something, it's going to be tough in business. And I don't care. I can go up against you. I can have the worst day. I can have just had the biggest fight with my girlfriend and lost some business and be in a crappy mood, and I can outsell anybody who doesn't know anything about sales, but they are really, really happy and have a good attitude, and I'll outsell them. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So lots of people they focus so much on, oh, you're just going to learn have the right mindset, but it's not going to. I mean, it's only going to make a difference to you when you compete against people that are on similar skill set. So if your skill set is relatively low when it comes to persuasion, sales, influence, then you're just going to lose in the marketplace. I don't even care how positive you are about it. You're going to lose.
Are you a competitor or a creator?
That's a good question. I'd have to think about that. I really seriously, I'm a competitor creator. I think I'm both. I love to create, and I'm definitely very competitive as well. Like with network marketing, obviously, I'm not creating something specifically that is my own, but I do it in a way that I'm creating my own trainings that I'm serving the general audience, the general network marketing community with. That is my product. That is my creation, and I love doing that. I love coming up with new stuff. Um, but I would actually probably say like if I had to choose between one of them, I'm probably a competitor more than I am creator.
Okay. Do you like more a startup or a corporation?
Corporation.
Why?
Um, I the older I get, the less and less I like working with myself, or by myself. I'm just getting tired of it sitting in front of the computer. I love cooperating with other people, and there's a lot of power in. Like I said, this is one of the things, one of the reasons I love network marketing so much is because I don't have to come up with a brilliant idea. I don't have to produce, I don't have to create a great product that is eh, competitive in the marketplace. I'm just partnering with a company that has all those things. They have the marketing systems, they have the product that are proven, they have research and development department, and all those things. I've just got to bring my commitment to the marketplace and go out there and sell and train other people to sell. Right. So for that reason, I highly believe in OPR, OPE, OPM, other people's resources, other people's experiences, other people's money, and taking a smaller cut instead of kind of being greedy and saying like, I want it all. I want this to be just my company, and I just want it to be my product, my creation. I want 100% of it. I believe it's much, much better to get a smaller cut, but you work with other brilliant people that also inspires you and gives you ideas and lifts you up. It's tough enough to be an entrepreneur, but to be it on your own, it's just kind of too tough for me.
How do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Okay, I have a huge team in, I would say there would be in a 200 to 300,000 people range, if not way more. And I would definitely be one of the most recognized network marketing trainers in the world. I probably also will have a food business. I've been toying with the idea of a food business that is quite unique. So I probably have something with that. But I'll definitely travel a lot. I'll have several properties around the world. And I will spend most of my time in business inspiring people and giving them the tools that they need to go out there and make a massive difference in their own life and other people's lives. So we can transform this world and make it better. I really believe in that we need seriously need to inspire more people to get into entrepreneurship. I believe via entrepreneurship that we can make a huge difference in the world. Entrepreneurs are basically the people that transform the world, that change the world. So that's my goal and my aim in 10 years.
Do you have a favorite entrepreneur?
Do I have a favorite entrepreneur? No, I don't think so. I have many favorites. Um, I think Bill Gates is amazing. Whether people, they like Windows or not, but you can't argue with the fact. I mean, he's one of the richest people in the world.
Mm.
So he's incredible. Warren Buffett. There's some of the success trainers like Tony Robbins as well. Um, some of the names escape me now. Dan Pena. Dan Pena is amazing. Absolutely. If you haven't, Pena is Pena.
I heard about him. He has some trainings at his castle in
Yeah,
Scotland.
in Scotland. Yeah, he's an American guy, quite aggressive, but man, he's so disciplined. And even at like I don't know what 60, 3 years old or four or five, he's just super fit. Really, just
Mhm.
constantly pushes himself to the edge of his abilities and constantly moving forward. Yeah, he's probably one of my heroes. What's his name now? Brian Tracy. I mean, I have so many I've taken advice from. I highly recommend you constantly listen to training by great entrepreneurs, great business people on a daily basis. And it's so easy to find. Like when I started out, there was nothing. There was no internet, right? No internet. So like, where do you go and find information? Library. Okay, today you just open your phone or your computer and you go on YouTube and you can find tons of
You
stuff
can
for free.
find everything
It's
basically.
just amazing, right?
It's too much.
Yes, sometimes almost too much.
Sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
Tell us something about your books. You have
Okay.
some nice books about network marketing, about business networking, right?
Yeah, I have Turn Your Contacts into Cash. It's not on the market right now. It's being reprinted. So we'll be out in about the next 6 weeks on Amazon. So again, it's Turn Your Contacts into Cash. So it's about how to influence people, how to expand your networks. And then I have 87 ways to build your network marketing business, or 87 ways to grow your network marketing business. And that one you can find, it's Kindle version on Amazon. If you simply search for 87 ways on Amazon, I'm sure it'll come up there in the top. And then I have a few upcoming books. I have the risk-free startup coming up. I have another one that I've written with four friends where I'm the lead author, but I have four other experts that is writing a chapter for the book. And then it's about general entrepreneurship, about how to basically start and grow successful businesses. So that's a bit about my writing. I love writing from time to time. Again, it's part of the part of me that likes creating.
How can the listeners contact you if they want to find more about the network company you're involved with, about your books?
Yeah, well, the best way
Maybe
is,
to pitch you to speak at the event or something else?
oh, I would love
Approach
to
them
come out.
or
I would love to come out and speak anywhere in the world with a good size audience. Um, they can find me on Facebook. That's the best way to find me. They can also find me on LinkedIn, but I'm rarely on LinkedIn. Don't bother about my Twitter account. I mean, you can follow. It's nice to have somebody following me on Twitter, but I'm almost never on Twitter. So Facebook is the place. Facebook.com/Patrick M Powers, and it's M like in Mary. So Facebook.com/Patrick M Powers, and I'll give you a super special offer here to any listener here. If you contact me on Facebook and say that you found me via this interview, I will actually give you for free one of two books, either Turn Your Contacts into Cash or How to 87 Ways to Grow Your Network Marketing Business. You get a choice between either one of those as a PDF. All right, so contact me on Facebook, say that you found me in this interview, and I'll give you one of those for free.
Nice, very nice.
And of course, if you're in the London area or near or want to come to London, then it's entrepreneursinlondon.co.uk, where you can find our meetup group.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the interview. Lots of golden nuggets here, and can't wait to see you at the next meetup in London. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Adrian. Thank you.